This is it, the very start of the Draw Stickman Epic universe.
One day I was climbing when I saw something fall from the sky. I went to investigate and found a magic pencil. Soon I learned that anything I drew came to life. I drew riches and glory for myself, but it was never enough. The others were not as fortunate and wanted me to share what was rightfully mine. I drew monsters to scare them and show them all who was boss. I had it all, but I wanted more. The years passed and my castle grew, but my magic was fading. The last bit of my pencil was nearly gone.
Through my evil drawings, I soon had the power to control the book I lived in. Now, I must use this power to find more magic pencils before mine runs out. I have a feeling it won't be long.
This is when the Stickman we see in Draw Stickman Epic 2 was created. Also, if you watched my theories video, then you know some other guy was created. The two Stickman meet each other for the first time. They look pretty similar, except for their color. Neither of them have a name, and they don't know each other. And despite having no memories, they're able to get along really fast.
"Let's go explore,"
said one of them. They hopped down from the canvas and ushered their friend to come look at the book. But it turned to life and gobbled him up. The Stickman ran after the book, and after his friend was inside it, he realized he needed to jump in. Welcome to Draw Stickman Epic 1 lore. No, it's not Days lore number 1. It'll be coming up soon though. Underneath the shadow of Draw Stickman Epic 2, but more light than Draw Stickman Epic 3, it's a game that is not looked at much by the community. I will play through the game and explain it as I go along, and you'll find out that the story is actually much shorter than you might have thought. Now, let's dive in to some epic lore. He starts off in a meadow, and he finds this red magic pencil that creates fast-burning flames. He's in Cuddle Bunny Peak. As you can see from the ledge here, this is pretty high up. And also, bunnies. But reckless people had left a lot of dynamite in Cuddle Bunny Peak, and Stickman had to be careful. But otherwise, it was pretty peaceful, and he moved on to Armadillo Pass. He found himself at an island chain with a few campsites, as well as rope bridges. This site had the hills terraformed in order to make navigating it a little bit easier. It also had trees that were close together and prone to catching on fire. And of course, more reckless people left dynamite in Armadillo Pass. However, Stickman quickly spotted a cave at the island. He rushed over as he saw his friend by a big rock. But just then, a strange man came out of the cave. He started drawing something as he said, "You're not the only one with a magic pencil." There was a huge monster that blocked the way as the strange man kidnapped Stickman's friend, laughing to himself as his hostage cried out for help. This giant armadillo was immediately hostile to Stickman, and it attacked him, breathing fire. But using his problem solving, he was able to get past it. Passing through the pass, he came to Stickenstein's castle. He found himself a new magic pencil. And from here? Well, we don't know what happened. In Epic 2, you have the levels coming right after another, and it's a pretty linear progression. But in Epic 1, it's much more open world and more like a choose your own adventure. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, I know some people from the Discord server who would like a Draw Stickman Epic 2 game like that. But we don't know if Stickman resurrected Stickenstein, or if he took the raft to get out of Stickenstein's monster. And that's most of what we know today. We know that Stickman eventually went into the Cavern of Robotic Mystery through Trollfoot Grotto. But now, it's time to go straight to the boss. Since all paths lead to Zarp's fortress, this is the second part of the game we know about. After a long journey, Stickman found his friend, but a cage fell on him.
You didn't think it would be that easy, did you? I kidnapped your friend just to lure you here. Now I will destroy you, and your pencils will be mine. Blah.
Stickman was trapped in a cage while Zarp was working on a massive drawing that would destroy him and his friend. But Stickman still had his magic pencils, and he was able to find some dynamite near his cage that broke it open. But when Zarp saw what he was doing, he quickly drew bees in front of the cage that his friend was locked in. Stickman had to find a way to distract all these bees. Behind the cages were a collection of Zarp's treasures. There was a ledge overlooking many containers. Zarp's fortress was filled with many of his various creations. Maybe some of them could help Stickman. In the back corners of the room, there is an elevator and a key box. He was able to use his key pencil to operate the elevator, which brought him up to the second floor. He started breaking open all the containers using dynamite and some of his pencils to try and find anything useful. And in a corner behind a dragon egg, he found some flowers. He had to release a dragon, but behind it were some flowers. After using the cloud pencil, the bees that were blocking the cage of the friend flew up and started pollinating them. This was the opportune moment to free his friend. There came another dragon that was blocking Stickman's way, but they hated each other so much that they started fighting. And then, as Zarp was still making touches to his destroyer, the cage collapsed. But before they could celebrate their victory, Zarp had one last trick up his sleeve. Hidden underneath the floor was a claw machine that picked the two up. Quick, draw an X in my hand!
No, my pencil of darkness is broken. Without the power of the dark pencil, I can no longer rule the world of Epic.
And so, with Zarp defeated, Stickman and his friend began reshaping the world. Formal refugees that fled from Zarp's reign now came back to the book. And the world might have become a better place. And that's the end of this lore video. And again, I think I've gone too long without uploading because I just get less stories to tell on YouTube. In the time I've been gone, I've been slowly mastering school. I have 4 classes, 3 state required, and then engineering. Through quarter 1, which was September and October for me, I was constantly behind in history class and put too much time into small details to the point where all my classwork became homework. In English, everything I did in that class was me slaving away. In algebra, I had still been spending an average an hour on homework. And in engineering, I was always miserable. And now all of that pain is gone, and I'm still getting the same or better results. And because of everything I've done, I've been starting to get full 9 hours of sleep. I'm doing so much better, and school hasn't even ended yet. This is starting to become a pattern. I think they might just hate wildlife.